my viewpoint, the likelihood of breaking the level towards the potential increment is certainly going to be very high. At any rate, before the ongoing second, we discussed the specific worth point of convergence of the reach and what will be our preparation contemplations for the present. At this point, we want to analyze what is really going to be the specific cost revolve around that can be surveyed with our level reach. So how we will respond assuming we go specifically with finance channel making this particular level show up at here, extending this one vaguely lower and recreating the range and putting this one at the upper here. What you will note is the mid-level of our new level show up intentionally come up at 30,100 US spot by and large. Eventually survey, for what reason is this district such a basic level? Most importantly, we genuinely have our bit by bit high drum time span level at 30,000 US dollars, and besides, what we could similarly do, going for instance, on a standard time frame and measure whole upper cost segment that was framing to or a shockingly prolonged stretch of time back here, we can see our volume level is in this way going to land uncommonly, enthusiastically towards the value point of convergence of our level show up at respect region. Low 30,300 USR. So I would genuinely say IBI Bitcoin right at present will be good to go later on over our worth region, high over the area of 28,500 US dollars. We are searching for a typical breakout with a value point of convergence of around 30,000 US dollars where we really have the objective of the degree, where we genuinely have the objective of the volume level, and obviously similarly where we really have our basic high-term stretch of time level of opposition on the buy Bitcoin cost. At this point, something else that I ought to note. Tolerating we go, for instance, with the financial exchange, that being said, our S&P of 100, this one is certainly breaking towards the reasonable increment. We are exchanging over the high, and our next center, in the event that we go higher, is genuinely going to be our next normal degree of block, and that proposes we truly have right by and by more space to go towards the normal expansion of around 1.85%, and the very same thing is occurring here with the Nasdaq frame. We are breaking all through the regular line here, and our following ordinary will be for the most part 1.28% higher. Obviously, tolerating we will go on with our model towards the normal expansion. So assuming the financial exchange that will open in the next few hours will proceed higher, obviously, as I should suspect. Possibly mean Bitcoin is besides going to go much higher toward the conceivable increment, perhaps recover the ordinary, and obviously in addition our worth area high, which will land at 28,500 USR. Keep in mind, except for if we really break our worth locale high, we are right now exchanging our horizontal range on the Bitcoin cost. Before long, this is the thing, correct? On the off chance that we will see a pivot towards hindrance from the most raised characteristic of the reach where Bitcoin is exchanging as of now, what will be our most huge help level? We really should know about, and what you will notice. Our worth locale low on Bitcoin will land at 27,300 USR. Our common high from time frame support level will be unimportantly lower at 27,001. Additionally, likewise, what we could similarly do, Fibo, standard retracement from our swing low back to our swing high. Our stunning phi degree will be impalpably higher than our worth region high. So I would agree that like that anticipating Bitcoin in the next few hours, suspend lower, this region will be our super port zone where possibly we could be searching for some sort of a long or a buy ownership on the piece contain. For what reason am I saying that we could be searching for a long or a purchase at this even out as opposed to unequivocally at the lower part of our even reach? Again, taking into account the way that truly expecting that we conquer our help area towards us here, and we retest the lower part of our level reach, we will have an extraordinarily high likelihood of then similarly breaking the degree towards disadvantage. I truly need this help zone with really holding with an uncommonly major invalidation level of our long situation under our area of help. Then again, on the off chance that we are correct by and by going to see some sort of a push toward a normal increment on Bitcoin, you could additionally be needing to go with some sort of the ER exchange expecting that Bitcoin will see certification over the worth region high. In any case, basically note, it won't be an ideal long or a tough spot position here since we are genuinely entering a long or a tough spot position precisely at the most raised spot of our level reach. I would agree that we could be searching for a long here considering how we are retesting the degree of obstruction right now for, as we said as of now, perhaps the 6th time in movement. Regardless, so we truly have a really high likelihood of breaking the level towards the normal increment. In a perfect world in an ascent, we are searching for purchases at the help levels as opposed to the degrees of protections. Again yet, on the off chance that you are searching for a long or a buy ownership here for the breakout or some likeness thereof, promise you are obstructing likewise as stop difficulty into the even show up at in light of the fact that as we said ahead of time, if we see besides confirmation back under the worth district high, without a doubt, it's a negative piece correspondence end. Genuinely around then obviously we truly need to get halted out of our long having a spot. Once more regardless, our next huge cost target will be at the area of around $30,000 here on the Bitcoin cost. Besides, much appreciated. Okay, so Bitcoin a brief time frame back got another push towards the sensible addition over our level reach, taking the liquidity over our past highs. Notwithstanding, in this video we will take a gander at in case a transient top for Bitcoin can truly be right now in, and we will see another turn towards the lower part of our level reach. Furthermore, additionally, I comparably need to present to you how to really measure the worth place of assembly of our level reach and what it's going to. We will see a break towards the ordinary addition, maybe in the next few hours. In any case explicitly, you will see, it truly is evidently that. A few days sooner, Bitcoin was siphoning unequivocally towards the typical addition towards the area of $29,000. We got an excusal. Following taking the liquidity over our past high, and that suggests people that really were in a short or a sell position having the stop catastrophe over the high, they probably got completed out with a WIC towards the opposite here. Besides, it's exceptionally spellbinding since, in such a case that you genuinely have an effect our step-by-step turn basis on our organization, it seems like we hit our multi little by little turn at $21,073 very splendidly and exclusively after we hit the level of obstruction. After we took the liquidity here, we got an excusal back towards harm. After a short time zeroing in on our volume. Has the excusal been going on a higher volume or no? Surely. I would really say we genuinely got some kind of a volume spike on an excusal towards some site, yet really zeroing in on how much people that really got sold on a sucker. Some site, I would really say not that is essentially reality obviously only 13 million of long positions got racked on a push down. Which right as of now suggests that it seems like people were genuinely shorting the most raised quality of our even come to, the deviation and the liquidity. Over our past high. In the long run maybe you're thinking about, family, at what locale is Bitcoin as of now? Seeing a push up, an impact of an as some kind or another, and what you can truly do. FIBO retracement. We will go from our swing low back to our swing high. It seems like we truly hit our 0.5 FIBO retracement level here. Once more and, applying our one small step at a time turn spins around our arrangement. It looks like totally at this specific. We got one small step at a time turn, which will be another innumerable weeks turn here. So it seems like we got disturbing effect from our multi one small step at a time turn towards impediment, towards another innumerable weeks turn. Furthermore, additionally, in like manner applying little by little volume weighted typical expense on the outline. It in addition seems like it will be definitively at this specific locale. To that end we are right before long seeing a push towards the possible augmentation and a retest of our old standard level of obstruction at 28,332 US darts. Besides, yesterday on Twitter, I truly posted it. It seems like we are right now in a floundering technique for some sort or another. We are seeing a choice reaction of Bitcoin coming to fruition to taking the liquidity over the high of the compass. In any case, there is comparatively a little upkeep happening, and that suggests that people are shorting here, yet bulls are attempting to push the expense higher. That suggests there. All the selling pressure that was coming into the market on a push towards block. Yet, at this point, it really appears as though we are for certain trading under the most basic indication of our level reach, and that suggests we are seen into the reach and one could make a, say, trade the span until it breaks, and that construes we could be looking for some kind of a pivot towards block, back towards the lower part of our level reach. In any event, would concur what's going on the ongoing second, it's not unequivocally so particularly clear as evidently to be. As of now, as an issue of some significance, we truly need to see Bitcoin at this point. It's truly trading a strikingly fair rising. It unequivocally has no contact with what astounding moving midpoints. You will go on the 1 hourly, on the 2 hourly. On the 4-hour time period, we are unequivocally moving in a particularly fair ascent. Relatively going with the key moving midpoints. It also is evidently on the 4 hourly, on the 2 hourly, on the 1 hourly, maybe equivalently on the customary time period. Bitcoin is trading a typical ascent. Moreover, additionally, since we got this specific push toward the normal extension in like manner proposes we have right eventually still bullish market structure. So taking into account how we are in an ascent, I would agree, clearly, plan has a higher probability of continuing and perhaps we could be looking for a breakout or something to that effect. Out of our level appear at here, but we truly need to see that at this point the expense movement that has been molding for the new days here isn't moving. It's actually an appear at bound environment. Moreover, as implied ahead of time, considering the way that we got a push towards disadvantage under the main spot of our level appear at here, since we are moving under the generally here, we should attempt to regardless give to ourselves, our level appear at here is fundamental. Trade the reach until it really breaks. As of now something indispensable that people have close to zero information into, enduring you go with the volume levels, right, reviewing the entire upper expense fragment with the volume of the even reach, it seems like we are seen under the value district. High authentication under the value region high here recommends that we are to be sure trading, the area of 70%. All the volume that was truly traded this specific even reach. So acknowledge that way. Looking right now at the expense portion, we are trading at the sign of control at the best volume pack of the entire level reach, and again, going over the value district high. Will be a bullish correspondence or less, Bitcoin is truly going to have the choice to see a drive towards the sensible addition to go off the value locale high. I would truly say we are looking for a turn towards possible augmentation of some kind or another. Once more so we make on decidedly now unequivocally where perhaps we could go to some degree more bullish, potentially expecting a truly impressive breakout towards the sensible augmentation with the exception of on the off chance that we go over the value district. We are in the range and we are perhaps looking for another pivot towards inconvenience. In a little while, how is it that it could be that I could truly say that? If Bitcoin see another push towards the up here, towards the value locale high, we will have an extremely high probability of going essentially higher and breaking the range towards the possible development. It will consider the way that we have retested the most raised spot of our even appear at here. For reliably, you are truly going to see first time, second time, third time, fourth time. We have right to been retesting this specific level of obstacle here. So expecting we go finally towards the possible extension, towards the value locale, high towards our customary high time level, as indicated by my perspective, the probability of breaking the level towards the potential addition is positively going to be extremely high. In any event, the continuous second, we examine the particular worth place of union of the span and what will be our arrangement thoughts for the present. Right now, we need to examine what is truly going to be the particular expense spin around that can be reviewed with our level reach. So the way in which we will answer expecting we go explicitly with finance channel making this specific level appear at here, broadening this one enigmatically lower and reproducing the reach and putting this one at the upper here. What you will note is the mid-level of our new level appear deliberately come up at 30,100 US spot overall. At last overview, why is this region such an essential level? Above all, we really have our step-by-step high drum period of time level at 30,000 US dollars. Furthermore, what we could comparatively do, going for example, on the standard time period and measure. Entire upper expense section that was outlining to or an incredibly delayed time span back here, we can see our volume level is in this manner going to land remarkably, eagerly towards the worth mark of combination of our level appear at regard district. Low 30,300 USR. So I would really say IBI Bitcoin right at present will be all set later on over our value district, high over the area of 28,500 US dollars. We are looking for a run-of-the-mill breakout with a worth place of intermingling of around 30,000 US dollars where we truly have the goal of the degree, where we truly have the target of the volume level, and clearly correspondingly where we truly have our fundamental high-term time span level of resistance on the buy Bitcoin cost. As of now, something different that I should note. Enduring we go, for example, with a monetary trade. That being said, our S&P of 100, this one is unquestionably breaking towards the sensible augmentation. We are trading over the high, and our next focus, if we go higher, is really going to be our next typical level of block, and that proposes we genuinely have right eventually more space to go towards the ordinary development of around 1.85%, and exactly the same thing is happening here with the Nasdaq outline. We are breaking all through the customary line here, and our following standard will be generally 1.28% higher. Clearly, enduring we will happen with our model towards the typical development, so accepting the monetary trade that will open in the following couple of hours will continue higher, clearly, as I ought to think. Potentially mean Bitcoin is other than going to go a lot higher toward the possible augmentation, maybe recuperate the common, and clearly likewise our value region high, which will land at 28,500 USD. Remember, with the exception of on the off chance that we truly break our value district high, we are correct now trading our horizontal range on the Bitcoin cost. After a short time, this is the thing, right? In case we will see a turn towards obstruction from the most raised trade of the compass where Bitcoin is